Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is Hejin Lee with a morning update for Bitcoin. All right, I cleaned up the chart. More often than not, I often prefer to start with a unlabeled blank slate. The reason is because it allows opportunities for additional aha moments. I'm only human, so I cannot conceptually discern everything possible instantaneously, which means repetitious viewing of the chart. But for me, viewing it without prior labelings allows me to have consistently a good number of aha moments or patterns or counts or scenarios that I might not have realized or discerned before. So I know that last night, this was the count that I had, where we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the waves. I showed also 3 consecutive repetitions of a downward pointing wedge. And the target that I put in was 12,112. I'm still holding to this count, but one thing I wanted to just put out also is if you redraw that wedge that I had going, I don't believe that wedge is finished. Like this. So that wedge is still going. This is the subjective nature of the patterns and Elliott waves. Initially, I had my wedges here, and the breakdown was very minimal. Now, if I redraw it, this is something to watch out for, to keep an eye out for, to be aware of. So if I had to count this on an Elliott wave, I would have A, B, C, D, and E. One more higher high. Maybe it'll be a little higher here. We might even reach, obviously, a higher high compared to this peak. It'll go higher high. But the apex is something to be watched out for. So once E is done, once the higher high, slightly higher high, is put in, there is a chance of a decline, a correction. And as to how that correction will look, has a couple top of mind awareness scenarios that I have. Now overall, recall that we have the price is very decisive already. There was a decisive breach. It's outside and above and has been staying out of this above the top white line. good. From a longer term perspective, we're still on track. From the head and shoulder perspective, the inverted head and shoulders, we're still in track. So what you're seeing here in this move is barely noticeable here. It's climbing out of the neckline. And my primary count is still that we hit 12 to 306, come down, and rise again. But what we're looking at is this right here, in this zone, this wave. And to count that right here, could be the interesting factor. Because if it is a wedge in ABCDE, we're going to see a decline, correction. And that correction will probably be, it made a peak, a poke above the neckline, and now it's going to come back down below it and try again. So it'll look like this. Makes a poke, comes back down below the neckline, tries again. I think that could be the scenario. So this is how I'm trying to translate the correction that we can get here. And let's look at some Fibonacci. If there is a correction, you get a 0.5, 0.618% correction. I also mentioned yesterday that there is a likely tendency of not enough sellers being built up to drive it down to no low lows, what have you. And that is still on the table. If price busts out of this zone easily, makes it look like this, for example, then we can easily remove these. Call it a 5 waves up. But here's the thing. From here, there will be an ABC decline. So it almost doesn't matter when you get that correction. But you have to have, a correction is a requisite component of any impulse motive. All right, so that's my morning update. And I'm taking as many requests. I'm a little behind. My bandwidth is about 10 posts per day. Listen, guys, there was never a time, as the accusation stands from the trolls, that I started ramping up my posts to increase my reward payout. If you go back to the beginning of my blogs, I realized soon when I started my blog that my bandwidth is about 10. If I make each post, which a bit comprehensive, and 10 posts, maybe sometimes 11 or 12, is a limit to my bandwidth. And I am a bit behind on the requests because I do get the requests by email as well from existing clients. And I'm sorry, but they come first. And then I also get to as many of the requests coming in from the Steemit. I'm pretty much covering all of them, I think, unless I missed it somehow in the comments. So I just wanted to put that on the table as a fact. Since the beginning of my blog, I've always done 10. Never ramped it up just for the advantage of increasing the reward payouts. Again, if you're tired of seeing the trolls, just click the mute button and they magically disappear. Thank you and have a great day.